Greenland, starring Gerald Butler and Morena Baccarin, was very entertaining. I thought the acting was great by all of them, by everyone in this movie, by the lead actors and actresses and the supporting actors and actresses. And I enjoyed it. I thought it was a bit too long. I thought they could have probably shaved 20 minutes out of this movie, and it would have been, around an hour and 40 minutes, which would have been a little bit better digestible. There was parts where it felt like it lagged and it was losing me a little bit, and then it picks up because it does have a self-awareness where it knows it's being a little bit too boring, but it doesn't recover quickly enough. You actually get to the boredom part and you just start not being as interested in that storyline to go forward. So if you haven't seen Greenland, consider this your spoiler warning, because I will be talking about some spoilerish things during this review. But I wanted to give a major kudos to the cast. It was very, very, very well acted. It was just more of the pacing and beautifully shot. Some of the cinematography in this movie was quite breathtaking. I think they did that by design to just show the scope of it thing. And sure, they do add some CGI during the catastrophe, but still, it was a beautifully shot movie. So definitely wanted to give them kudos before I get into the nitpicking of the thing. So, but let me touch one thing. So I was going to leave this for later on, but I'll touch it right now. There's the supporting actor, and when you see the movie, he takes the kid, right? He takes Ralph. He takes Nathan. The character's name's Ralph. He's played by David Denman. He plays Ralph Vento, and you'll know because it's him and his wife Judy are trying to get to safety. And they realize that, during this catastrophe, right? Well, let me just get into it. So there's a asteroid that has broken off, and the name of this asteroid or meteor is called. And Clark is going to, it's gonna go past Earth, but Earth is in no imminent danger. But it flew too close to the sun, and gases started coming out of it, which changed the trajectory, and now it's going to make a direct hit. But for all intensive purposes, NASA thinks it's going to just burn out in the atmosphere. So everyone's watching it. It's like a news event. Everybody's kind of looking to see, we're going to get our first live look at what happens when an asteroid hits harmlessly in the ocean. But they misproject, they mistarget it, and it does a direct hit in Florida, basically destroying Tampa, Florida. So people, at this moment, there's like a presidential alert saying that, hey, some people were selected to go join in this bunker, blah, blah, blah. So people are scattering, people are afraid, and they get this wrist, right? When they go and check into the first location, they get like it's kind of dumb. It's like one of those things when you go to an amusement park, they put like a wristband on you, kind of that basic ass shit, which you would think for a disaster event, it would be a little bit more sophisticated than that, but whatever. So Ralph here, while the family gets separated, right? The main characters, John, Allison, and Nathan, that's the family. That's the main family. They were selected to go into this bunker to be saved because John or Gerald Butler's character is architect. So those will be needed to obviously develop buildings post the asteroid hit, because they realized that there was a big one the size of a small city that is going to hit Earth. So anyways, the first scene, they go in there and they get turned away because Nathan is diabetic, which is a stupid reason. Like, it's just a plot device to set up, which that kind of bothered me. And with these types of movies, always have to be some dumb thing that sets off the chain of events. But then during the movie, you start losing that. So, they forget the diabetic medicine or diabetes medicine in the car for the little boy. So he has the bright idea to go get it, and that's how it all kicks off. So then Allison and Nathan are kind of stranded by themselves, and there's like a whole thing. Go watch the movie; it's a great watch. So, anyways, they come up on the Ralph and Judy Vento, and he sees that they have these bracelets that will let them in. So he has the bright idea of saying, "Hey, he just comes off as a dick," and he comes up with the most scumbag move that you could think about. And he ends up kicking Allison out of the car, and he now, they're like telling Nathan, like, "Oh, we're your mom and your dad now. Don't you dare say things." But my point being is that the actor David Denman, he's starting to play these roles, like the dick role, and he plays it off so good. He does such a good job. I hated his fucking guts. I got anxiety watching them. Like, oh my god, I can't believe you're gonna do that. And there was a point where in the first half of this movie, the way they portrayed humanity was like, just you hate to admit it, but that's probably how humans would act, with no sense of help, with no sense of let me take care of other humans and make sure we all get it. And there's like, nope, selfish, we're only looking out for ourselves and screw everyone. Not a collective mindset, but just in a very individual mindset. And I was disappointed. I was like, you know what, that's probably how humanity is. Now in the second part of the movie, it redeems the human spirit a little bit more. There's more people helping each other. There's more people taking care of each other, which is a lot like we would hope would happen. But I think if a disaster actually happened, even though there's been small scale attacks or tragedies that tend to let us know that we are closer to the second half, where we want to help, we want to better our community. We're always going to put ourselves in danger to help someone else. And that's what I want to believe that it is. But this movie, and especially him playing that character, was like an indication. Like, that's probably how people would act. But so anyways, so I kind of went over the plot, and that's basically sets off that's the plot. In the family, the John, Allison, and Nathan have to meet up at Allison's dad's house, and that's the whole journey until they get there. And then once they get there, they have to get to Greenland, which is the name of the show or the movie, because Greenland has the bunkers. So it was a very entertaining movie. Like I said, the acting was great. The CGI was okay at times, horrible in others. But what do you expect? Like I talked about earlier, the pacing was it was okay, but 20 minutes could have been shut off of this thing. The main theme was that life, no matter what disasters happen, life will continue. There was a scene where they come out of the bunker towards the end, and they're looking at, just what the asteroid did to the world, and there's birds flying outside. So it didn't kill everything. Certain things survived the mass, disaster for 8 or 9 months, I think they said. But to sum it up in the best way that I could, if you remember the movie 2012 of the Mayan calendar, it's literally that plot point, literally verbatim. The way the family, obviously it's a stepdad in that instance, this is actual family, but it's literally a carbon copy of 2012, the same way from beginning to end. And I know in the 2012 it was an ark, a ship, a submarine, whatever you want to call it, that saves humanity. In this instance, it has the bunkers, but then even towards the end, the way they open up the hatch to see what life is after the catastrophe, literally the same. So, did it do a better job than 2012? A little bit. It became, at least in the reality spectrum, it was, because no one believed that 2012, the Mayan calendar, was gonna end and all this sort of stuff was gonna happen. Even though if you looked at the History Channel, you would have thought for sure something's gonna happen in 2012. So at least in the believable spectrum, it's a lot more believable, but still the same premise, same everything. But I still enjoyed it. So I gave this movie a B-. Again, the pacing, a little bit better CGI. Just a little bit more of an original premise would have given this probably a solid A-, maybe a B+. But it was a lot of dead spots in some, or enough for me to say it didn't warrant a solid B or higher. So, but it's still an enjoyable movie, and if you love disaster movies, you'll definitely enjoy this one. Just be prepared for the 20 minutes. Like I said, it's not just one spot; it's throughout the whole movie. So you just have to deal with it because you can't fast forward it. I couldn't. I mean, I can pinpoint it, but it's not like one section. It's like, 3 minutes here, 5 minutes here, 5 minutes here, 2 minutes here, and it adds up to like around 20 minutes. But again, it's an enjoyable watch, so I do recommend you guys to go watch it. It's called Greenland. You could find it in various ways, however you enjoy your entertainment. Go check it out. Go Google it and see where you could find it. But anyways, those were just my thoughts. I would love to hear your thoughts down in the movies. What did you think about this movie? Where would you rank this movie in disaster movies if you have like your top 5 disaster movies? Where would you place this? Maybe even your top 10. Where would you place this? And if you did see Greenland, or however you pronounce it, what did you think of it? Did you think a B minus score was too high? A B minus was too low? Or not low enough? So let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And like always, that's a wrap.